A lifeguard was exercising by a diving board at a Las Vegas casino in 1953. A talent agent approached him. 1 week later, he was a signed movie star. He made 6 Tarzan films in 5 years. An 18.5-foot python nearly killed him. 6 men had to pull it off. A 500-pound lion attacked him at a press conference. 36 stitches in his calf. He married a famous actress who Alfred Hitchcock was grooming as the next Grace Kelly. She never knew he'd been married before. When she discovered the truth, she flew to Mexico and divorced him in 2 hours. He launched Sean Connery's career, paying him $5,600 before he became James Bond. Then, he made 40 European films and disappeared. For the last 40 years of his life, his manner of making a living is unclear. He spent his final 6 years living in a fan's spare bedroom in Baltimore. And when he died, he opened one eye and gave a wink. Gordon Scott's story sounds impossible, but every moment was documented. The poolside discovery, the python attack, the hidden marriages, the 2-hour Mexican divorce, Sean Connery's $5,600 paycheck, the 40 missing years, the spare bedroom in Baltimore. But here's what nobody understood. What if the lifeguard, who became Tarzan in 1 week, was never meant to survive Hollywood at all? Number 1, youngest of 9 children. Army waited 5 months for a uniform. Gordon Merrill Werschkuhl was born August 3rd, 1926 in Portland, Oregon. He was the youngest of 9 children. His father worked in advertising. His mother raised 9 kids. But Gordon was different from his siblings. He was massive. By the time he was drafted into the Army in 1944 at age 18, he stood 6 feet 3 inches tall. He weighed 218 pounds. His biceps measured 19 inches around. The United States Army had a problem. They didn't have a uniform big enough to fit him. So they held him back for 5 months, while they special-ordered clothing large enough for his frame. 5 months. While other recruits shipped out to war, Gordon Werschkuhl waited for pants that fit. When he finally got his uniform, the Army made him an infantry drill instructor. He trained soldiers in rifle handling, bayonet combat, judo, hand-to-hand fighting. This military combat expertise would later save his life when a python wrapped around him, when a lion attacked him at a press conference, when he had to fight wild animals in the African jungle. After his discharge in 1947, Gordon drifted. He worked as a cowboy on his brother's remote Oregon ranch. He became a fireman. He sold farm machinery. He drove a soda pop delivery truck. He admitted later that he took up serious bodybuilding specifically to attract women. The training connected him with legendary bodybuilder Steve Reeves, who won Mr. Universe in 1950. Reeves introduced him to Vince Gironda, the Iron Guru, the man who helped build the physique that would change Gordon's life forever. The youngest of 9 children, who was too big for an Army uniform, was about to become Hollywood's most physically imposing Tarzan, and it would happen in exactly 1 week. Number 2, discovered poolside at Vegas casino, signed in 1 week. In 1953, Gordon Werschkuhl was working as a lifeguard at the Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas. He was exercising by the diving board. Talent agent Walter Myers approached him. Producer Sol Lesser had already conducted 200 screen tests searching for a new Tarzan to replace Lex Barker. None of them worked. Myers looked at the lifeguard and saw something. Here's what happened next. Week 1. Agent approached him poolside the following week. He met producer Sol Lesser. Wednesday, 6-hour screen test. Running, jumping, climbing trees, diving, swinging on vines, helping 5 women test for the role of Jane. Friday, they viewed the footage. Saturday, he signed a 7-year contract. Boom. It was the stuff Hollywood legends are made of, Scott later recalled. Lesser insisted on one change. The name Werschkuhl sounded too similar to Weissmuller. Johnny Weissmuller, the most famous Tarzan in history. Gordon Werschkuhl became Gordon Scott. He received a 7-year contract, a loincloth, and a new last name. From unknown lifeguard to signed movie star in 1 week. No acting experience, no Hollywood connections, just a massive frame and the ability to swing from a vine. The Vegas lifeguard, who was too big for an Army uniform, was about to make 6 Tarzan films and nearly died doing it. Number 3, 6 Tarzan films. more than anyone except Weissmuller. Between 1955 and 1960, Gordon Scott made 6 Tarzan films, more than any actor except Johnny Weissmuller's 12. His first film was Tarzan's Hidden Jungle in 1955, shot in black and white, low budget. Critics said he looked like a hunky lifeguard with no acting experience. They were right. Scott later admitted Tarzan was ideal for me because I didn't have too much dialogue. His first color film was Tarzan and the Lost Safari in 1957. It became the first Tarzan movie ever shot in Technicolor, but everything changed in 1959. Producer Cy Weintraub bought the Tarzan rights for $3.5 million in 1957. He made radical changes. He eliminated Jane completely. He reduced the comic relief chimpanzee cheetah to near cameos. And most importantly, he made Tarzan articulate and educated, just as Edgar Rice Burroughs had originally written him. Tarzan's greatest adventure in 1959 is now considered among the finest Tarzan films ever made, shot on location in Kenya for $750,000. It featured a young actor as the villain O'Banion. His name was Sean Connery. He earned only $5,600 for the role. When Weintraub wanted Connery for the next Tarzan movie, he declined. He said, "Two fellows took an option on me for some spy picture." That spy picture was Dr. Nomer Scott's final Tarzan film was Tarzan the Magnificent in 1960. It co-starred Jock Mahoney as the villain. Mahoney would ironically become the next Tarzan actor after Scott departed. The lifeguard from Vegas had made 6 Tarzan films in 5 years. He launched Sean Connery's career. He became the only actor to play Tarzan in both the inarticulate me Tarzan style and the educated articulate manner Burroughs originally intended. But the physical toll was about to catch up with him, and it involved an 18.5-foot python. Number 4. 18-foot python attack. 6 men to remove it. Gordon Scott brought 300 pounds of personal weights to remote African locations. The Ituri Forest, the Belgian Congo. He was the only actor ever to do so. Local tribesmen would point at me, giggle, and try to pick them up, he recalled. But the real danger wasn't the weights. It was the animals. During Tarzan's fight for life, the scene required Scott to wrestle an 18.5-foot python in the water. The snake weighed nearly 200 pounds. The director kept redoing the shot. Every time they reshot, the water would wake the animal up. The more it woke up, the more alert it became, and the tighter it squeezed. The python began constricting Scott, crushing him. He couldn't breathe. 6 men had to physically pull the snake off him. 6 men grabbing a nearly 200-pound python that was actively trying to kill a man. But that wasn't his only close call. During a press conference in Nairobi, a 500-pound lion named Bobby was startled by a camera flash. The lion attacked Scott, 36 stitches in his calf. On another California set, a lion clawed a gaping wound in his leg. The Maasai tribe saw his courage. They gave him a nickname, Mtu Ule Na Panda Miti Minegu, warrior who climbs tall trees. The army drill instructor who trained soldiers in hand-to-hand combat had survived an 18-foot python and a 500-pound lion, but his personal life was about to explode because he had a secret, and his famous actress wife was about to find out. Number 5. Hidden first marriage. His actress wife never knew about. Gordon Scott's first marriage was to Janice May Wincoop. It happened in Reno, Nevada, in 1948. They had a daughter, Karen Judith Werschkull. The marriage lasted barely a year. They divorced in 1949, when Scott married actress Vera Miles on April 14, 1956. She believed she was his first wife. She wasn't. According to the Washington Post obituary, Miles was under the impression that she was his first wife. She was his second or third, by varying accounts. This suggests Scott may have concealed not one, but possibly 2 previous marriages from the woman Alfred Hitchcock was grooming as the next Grace Kelly. The Miles marriage happened after their on-set romance during Tarzan's Hidden Jungle. They had a son, Michael, born in 1957. They adopted a Korean war orphan together in October 1956, but the relationship was doomed. Scott's filming absences destroyed the marriage. His well-documented weakness for women finished it. His brother Rayfield later confirmed the pattern. He was always a big spender and loved to party. If he had one weakness, it was women. They were always hitting on him. At a 1993 convention, actor Jock Mahoney joked about Scott always canceling dinner plans because he was out chasing the ladies. Scott smiled and replied, "Man does not live by bread alone. The hidden marriages, the constant affairs, the months away filming in Africa. Vera Miles had enough, and when she decided to end it, she did it fast." Number 6. Vera Miles flew to Mexico, divorced in 2 hours. On March 2nd, 1960, Vera Miles flew to Juarez, Mexico. She obtained a divorce in just 2 hours. She returned home in time for dinner. 2 hours. The marriage to Hollywood's Tarzan was over before lunch. The woman Alfred Hitchcock had groomed as the next Grace Kelly had discovered her husband's secrets. The hidden marriages, the constant affairs, the lies. She ended it in the most efficient way possible. A 2-hour Mexican divorce. Scott's pattern with women continued for the rest of his life. The money's so easy, you meet beautiful people. My God, that's the ideal situation, he said about acting. But there was one thing Scott understood better than anyone. He knew when it was time to leave. In 1960, Tarzan producers offered him a 7-year contract extension. He declined. It was a very strenuous role, and by that time I had had enough, he explained. He seriously wanted out of that tiny leather nappy I was running around in, though he joked I went right into a Roman skirt. His friend Steve Reeves had already proven that former musclemen could thrive in Italian sword and sandal films. Scott moved to Rome, and he disappeared from Hollywood forever. Number 7. Made 40 European films, never acted again after 1966. Between 1960 and 1966, Gordon Scott made over 40 European films. Duel of the Titans, co-starring with Steve Reeves, Goliath and the Vampires, Samson and the 7 Miracles of the World. The Eurospy thriller Danger Death Ray. That film was later featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000. The peplum, sword, and sandal genre collapsed by 1965, replaced by spaghetti westerns. Scott's final film was The Tramplers in 1966, a western. It co-starred Joseph Cotton. After 1966, Gordon Scott never acted again. He was 40 years old. He had made nearly 50 films in 11 years, 6 as Tarzan. Over 40 in Europe, then nothing. Complete silence. No more acting roles. No more movies. No more Hollywood. The lifeguard, who became a movie star in 1 week, simply stopped. And for the next 40 years, what he did to survive remains one of Hollywood's strangest mysteries. Number 8. Last 40 years, manner of living unclear. According to Gordon Scott's IMDb biography, his manner of making a living the last 40 years of his life is unclear. For aside from autograph shows and selling occasional souvenir knives, he does not seem to have been employed. 40 years, from 1966 to 2007. No clear employment, no film residuals worth mentioning, no pension, no savings visible to anyone who knew him. He survived through convention appearances, autograph shows, selling collector's edition knives. He carried a gleaming, foot-long beauty to personal appearances. Fans would buy them, small amounts, never enough. He became completely estranged from his biological family. 8 siblings, brothers and sisters. They had not seen him in years. The man who was too big for an army uniform, who became Tarzan in 1 week, who survived an 18-foot python and a 500-pound lion, who launched Sean Connery's career, who made 40 European films, was selling knives at conventions, living off the generosity of strangers. And nobody knows how he paid rent, how he bought food, how he survived for 40 years, until 2 fans from Baltimore looked up their childhood hero and changed everything. Number 9. Final 6 years living in fans' spare bedroom. In approximately 2001, Roger and Betty Thomas of Baltimore looked up their childhood hero during a Hollywood visit. They invited him to visit. "We invited him for a visit," Betty Thomas later explained. "He came and never left." The former movie star spent his final 6 years living in their spare bedroom. in a working-class row house in South Baltimore. The man who married Vera Miles, who fought lions and pythons, who made nearly 50 films, was living in a fan's spare bedroom because he had nowhere else to go. The Thomas family took him in, fed him, cared for him, loved him. He became part of their family, not because he was Tarzan, but because he was Gordon, and he needed help. The youngest of 9 children, who left Oregon at 18, who became a movie star at 27, who disappeared from Hollywood at 40, was being cared for by strangers in Baltimore at 75 because his biological family hadn't seen him in years, because Hollywood had forgotten him completely, because the man who played the jungle's greatest hero had no one left, except 2 fans who refused to let their childhood hero fade away. Number 10 died. April 32, 2007, opened one eye and gave a wink. On April 30th, 2007, Gordon Scott died at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. Complications from multiple heart surgeries. He was 80 years old. Betty Thomas recalled her final hospital visit. She told him, "Gordon, we love you, and so does the dog and the bird." He opened one eye for a moment and gave me a wink. One eye, one wink. That was it. He was buried at Kensico Cemetery in Valhalla, New York. His biological family, brother Rayfield and sisters Janice and Betty Lou, all in Oregon, planned a memorial service. They hadn't seen him in years. Edgar Rice Burroughs' grandson, Danton, offered the ultimate endorsement. He was an absolutely wonderful Tarzan who played the character as an intelligent and nice man who carried himself well, much as my grandfather had originally written it. Film historians consistently rank Scott's final 2 Tarzan films among the best ever made, and Tarzan's greatest adventure launched Sean Connery towards superstardom, the lifeguard from the Sahara Hotel who became a movie star in 1 week, who survived an 18-foot python and a 500-pound lion, who kept secrets from his famous wife, who launched James Bond's career for $5,600, who made 40 European films, then disappeared for 40 years, who spent his final 6 years in a fan's spare bedroom, opened one eye, gave a wink, and was gone. From the youngest of 9 children to a lifeguard at a Vegas casino, from a 1-week discovery to 6 Tarzan films in 5 years, from an 18-foot python attack to a 500-pound lion mauling, from hidden marriages Vera Miles never knew about to a 2-hour Mexican divorce, from launching Sean Connery's career for $5,600 to making 40 European films, from 40 mysterious years with no clear employment to living in a fan's spare bedroom for 6 years, from Johns Hopkins Hospital to one final wink with one eye. Gordon Scott's story proves something Hollywood never wanted to admit. The same system that can make you a star in 1 week can forget you just as fast. The lifeguard who became Tarzan never really left the pool. He just kept swimming until 2 strangers in Baltimore threw him a lifeline and let him know that somewhere, someone still remembered the warrior who climbed tall trees. If Gordon Scott's journey from Vegas lifeguard to forgotten movie star inspired you, you're going to want to see next week's video. We're covering another legend who lived an impossible life and paid an impossible price for fame. Someone your generation watched and never knew what happened when the cameras stopped rolling. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And if you've got your own memories of watching Gordon Scott as Tarzan, share them in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.